Hello, normal people. I'm the not-so-normal Henry Davis. I'm so abnormal that some people might even call me a psychopath. What is a psychopath, you say? Psychopaths are people who are unable to form emotional attachments or feel real empathy with others. Although they often have disarming or even charming personalities, psychopaths are very manipulative and can easily gain people's trust.
Henry did not have a warm welcome into the world. Both Henry's parents, Linda and Matthew, were hoping for a baby girl and were quite upset upon hearing that they'll be having a boy instead. Now, since Henry was a child they didn't wish for, they didn't bother in providing him with the love and affection that he needed.
As a child, more specifically when I was 11 years old, I used to act out at both school and home because my parents didn't care enough to stop me, so I didn't bother to stop myself either. I was at school one day during recess, and while all the other kids were playing on the playground, I made a new friend. He was a bird. I decided to play my favorite game, catch. And since I couldn't find a ball, I used the closest thing to me, which was a rock. Now, my friend, the bird, didn't really seem like he understood how the game worked. I kept passing it to him, but he never even caught it, not once. Eventually, I decided it was best to kill the useless bird. I mean, after all, I can play catch with myself.
Little did Henry know that his teacher was watching his encounter with the bird. She was debating whether or not she should discuss this issue with the principal. After thinking for a while, the teacher came to a decision to talk to the principal. The principal was so concerned about hearing Henry torturing that bird that she decided to take matters into her own hands. Henry, feeling no guilt whatsoever, thought that it was just a regular bird. It's not like he was killing a person. The principal then called up the parents and made an appointment to see them the next day regarding Henry's behavior. Henry's father, Matthew, and his mother, Linda, were at the principal's office at 10 a.m. the next day. The principal passed on the information to Henry's parents provided by the teacher. She told them all about his little playground games with a bird. His parents, being as ignorant as they are, shrugged the principal off. They felt that the principal had insulted their parenting style. But Henry thought that their parenting would not have been attacked in the first place if they just took good care of him and steered him off the psychopath track in the first place.
Later that day, I came home from school and found a new game to play. I named it Kill the Cat. After all, that stupid cat was so ungrateful and annoying. I mean, it's probably better off being dead. I tried to pick up Fluffy, and no, I did not name the cat. If I named it, I probably would have named it something like Satan. It was trying to scratch me, so I stabbed it with a knife from the kitchen. The cat screamed a deathly scream. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't enjoy the whole quick kill thing, because I like to spend my time torturing creatures. But this cat just wouldn't hold still, and I had to do something about it. The cat's head fell flat on the couch. The blood was dripping all over the carpet. But, oh well, that's not going to stop me from dissecting Fluffy. I slit the stomach open with a knife and pull apart the skin, allowing the insides to open up. Wow, what a learning experience, I thought to myself. I can see the organs, and they feel weird and squishy and slippery. I look up and away from the cat and see my parents running towards me. Dang it, the cat scream must have woken them up from their afternoon nap. They were yelling and screaming at me too. My mom broke down crying, and I still don't understand why. I don't know what I did wrong this time, but it must have been bad because they sent me straight to my room. And I could still hear my mom crying all the way from my room. The principal was right, Matthew, my mom said.
My mother was not able to fall asleep due to Henry's behavior. She spent the whole night researching the different types of disorders that Henry could possibly be diagnosed with. Matthew, just as concerned as Linda, demanded for her to read aloud the list of symptoms of psychopathy. Well, I'm on this website and it states that some key traits that determine psychopathy in people are disregards for laws, social mores, as well as a failure to feel remorse or guilt, and a tendency to display violent behavior. After a long discussion, Henry's parents believed that the best choice was to take him to see a psychiatrist and get him the help he needs. Dr. Destor is known to be one of the best psychiatrists out there, and so they decided to take Henry to see him.
I stepped into Dr. Destor's office. He was quite kind, really, asking me how I was doing and all. Then I believe he stepped out of line when he asked me about the bird incident at school. Who does this guy think he is? He asked me if I enjoyed it. I mean, of course I did, but was I going to tell him that? Does he think I'm stupid? Nope. The doctor asked me why I did it. I just told him that I just felt like it.
The doctor realized that Henry was not cooperating as much as he hoped he would. After thinking about the stories Henry's parents had shared with him, the doctor decided to assess the presence of psychopathy in Henry. Dr. DeStewart used the Psychopathy Checklist Revised, also known as the PCLR, as one of the assessment methods.
So let's start off with the best-known modern approach, the Psychopathy Checklist Revised. This method helps determine the psychopathy tendencies in children and who should be kept in custody or who should receive a specific type of treatment. Each of the 20 items in the PCLR is scored on a 3-point scale, 0 being that it does not apply at all, 1 being that it is a partial match, and 2 being that there is a responsibly good match. This method is supposedly done face-to-face as opposed to a written assessment. Interpersonal affective factor measures the level of narcissism, aggression, distress, and depression. On the other hand, the antisocial deviance factor measures scores on tendencies such as sensation, seeking, mistrust, reactive aggression, and impulsiveness. The second most popular researched measure that is used to assess psychopathy tendencies in youth is the Antisocial Process Screening Device, also known as APSD. This instrument detects antisocial characteristics in children from the ages 6 through 13 so that preventative measures can be taken at an earlier age. The APSD also includes 20 items that are completed by the parents or teachers. It is scored on a 2-point scale. The items of the APSD branch into 2 different factors, one being callous and emotional traits factor, also known as CU, and an impulsive conduct problems factor, also known as ICP. CU is distinguished by a persistent pattern that reflects emotional insensitivity and disregard for others. ICP reflects impulsivity, behavioral deviancy, and inflated self-importance. Because Henry was diagnosed early, he was able to avoid the non-criminal aspects of psychopathy and was treated, thus causing him to live a much more normal life.